Sapoop, are you a main character, a side character, or an NPC? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whatever it is, y'all are in luck. Because Fadhlina Sidek wants to teach us character. Sepoops, our yang amat berhormat Menteri Pendidikan Fadhlina Sidek wants to teach us Pendidikan Karakter. Wow, you think that at least have Pendidikan Perwatakan or Pendidikan Sifat hashtag memartabatkan bahasa Melayu. But yeah, seriously, they're doing this Pendidikan Karakter to build student morals and values and to aim at strengthening students' personal growth, morals and values from a young age. What was that Pendidikan Moral and Civics thing for? Well, anyway, apparently it's going to be the foundation of the 2027 school curriculum, and it's related to values, morals, and personality, which are going to be strengthened. Apparently there's also going to be mental health coverage too, although honestly, I think to deal with the kind of nonsense that our school system faced this October, you don't need Pendidikan Karakter, you need Pendidikan Karate. Jokes aside, to be fair to Fadhlina though, it's not like she just suddenly decided, hey, all this bad stuff happened in October, so why don't we go ahead and teach them a brand new thing, and by the way, introduce Palestine. Introduce a brand new integrated curriculum into Malaysia. See, the ministry has wanted to do this for a while. Apparently they've been doing this ever since 2023. They apparently even went out, surveyed 61,000 people, a whole bunch of people wrote this paper, that paper, everywhere, and there are all of these diagrams that we can see right here, all in English for some reason. Teacher training and all of that stuff. Very admirable. But honestly, I'm sorry Fadhlina, but I think it's going to be useless. And you know, I'm not the only person who thinks this right here. I started a thread about this like 1 hour ago as of the time of filming, and you can see all of these wonderful pieces of feedback right here for our absolutely wonderful and loving education minister. Thank you, YB Fadhlina. You're so amazing. Everybody loves you. But no, yeah, like when we think about character, which you might think of whether you think of Singapore's CCE definition or David Brooks' definition of character, as like your moral nature that helps you live within yourself and also in the outer society. I mean, it's not something that you can learn just by reading textbooks or having the most awesome syllabus in the world. They say that it takes a village to raise a child. See, when we learn character, we learn from the role models around us, our families, our teachers, and in so many ways, the modern village is already dead. I mean, just for the sake of discussion, why don't we just have a look at the way that Singapore CCE content is actually developed. Alright, so here you have what the content actually looks like, and this is what they do along the way in their lessons. They develop, they reflect, they consider their purpose in life, learn ways in which they work towards the self they aspire to be. So there's a whole bunch of discussion right there, which you can see throughout the syllabus. And the main question I really want to ask is, do we even have teachers in Malaysia who are able to have that sort of discussion? Can they sustain that discussion? Have those teachers even developed the moral values and the character that they're supposed to bring to their students in the first place? I mean, I mentioned Singapore just because that's one of the countries that Malaysia's MOE is apparently learning from, but also because there's something that I keep attributing to the Singaporean MOE, and it goes very simply, you cannot give what you do not have. If you don't have teachers who can actually have a discussion that's at that level and only know how to either indoctrinate or berdakwah or to just put in content so that students can memorize it, score hot pick topic with a super tutor teaching you exactly how to write out your essays, I don't think that's very much of character education. I think that's just another redundant subject. If you really wanted to build character education, you would actually need role models, which would mean that you would need teachers who are better than this lady, who apparently was asking her students to go back to China because they can't speak Malay. Wow. Oh, and let's not forget that people also learn from their leaders in society, and any character education must focus on these amazing characters, which are like
budak-budak sekolah ada depan. Saya dengar dari chamber maki guna.
Wow. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a huge waste of time. Like, I'm saying this as somebody who learned Pendidikan Moral for years upon years, and the only skill that I really developed at the end of the day was how to memorize the nilai moral and to write things down in the correct format so that you can get the A+. There was never any deeper meaning to it. They didn't ask you to think, they only expected you to just take the nilai and then memorize them over and over again. I don't think there was ever any sort of deep discussion, partly because anyone who becomes a Pendidikan moral teacher is just a teacher who was assigned to be like, there, read, do nothing else, earn money, and be done. They're not going up to you and having some sort of like platonic debate pipe thing out there. They're not teaching you how to be better human beings. They're there just to make sure that you pass the exam, be done, siap. What could be even worse is that they try to indoctrinate you with like specific examples and they start talking about the suffering of Rakyat Palestine or something else out there that's totally not neutral, absolutely political, because they want to push you toward a specific narrative out there. Now that would be that. But yeah, in the very small off chance that it's actually good, I genuinely wonder how it's gonna happen, how they're actually going to implement it. I mean, if they can, then that would be great. A lot of things in our education system are things that they should focus on implementing just a little bit better than they did before, rather than coming up constantly with brand new subjects, thinking to themselves, this is going to be my defining achievement. But hey, I mean, like, you already failed on Jalur Gemilang badges. You already made people sing Happy Birthday PMX.
Saya sebut 1, 2, 3, anak-anak sebut selamat hari lahir PMX. We love you PMX. Boleh? Okay, sedia? 1, 2, 3.
And have presided over some of the very worst crises in modern Malaysian educational history. I'm sure that you've developed character along the way, YB Fadhlina. You're truly amazing. Wonderful. Round of applause. But alright, enough sarcasm. What do you think, Sapoops? Are you ready to be a main character and let Fadhlina Sidek teach you about character? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all to say about that, and bye.